Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into the best vehicles for completing missions in Grand Theft Auto Online. Missions are always quite a pain, and that is because of the fact that you cannot call in every personal vehicle you own. Doesn't really make that much sense why you can't, but I guess the reason is Rockstar doesn't want you to be able to complete the missions with a flying, hovering bike. But because of that, you are limited to what vehicles you have access to. Now, what I define as missions are separate from public session missions. And what I mean by that is obviously if you do an agency contract or a payphone hit, you can call in any vehicle you want. But missions where you're going to have to go over to Vincent and do the Cluck and Bell farm raid, or over to Dr. Dre and do specific missions for him, you aren't able to call in cars. This is the same for heist setups and heists themselves. So if we make our way over to some of the garages, you can see that some of them don't even let me call out certain vehicles because of the fact I have weaponized choices in them. Office Garage 1 has the majority of my weaponized cars. In total, there's like 30 or so in here, but we can see half of them are not available. So my Oppressor Mark II, I'm not able to call in here. My Toreador, I'm not able to call in here. So what do we have access to? Well, we do have Imani Tech vehicles like the Patriot Mil-Spec. We also have cars like the Duke of Death, which are very heavily, armored, pretty solid on bulletproof protection. Paragon R, that's another somewhat Imani Tech style vehicle. We have the Weaponized Tampa. So there's a lot of different weaponized things you can choose from. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 best vehicles to use for missions in Grand Theft Auto Online. So let's get straight into it. In the number 5 position, we arrive to Imani Tech vehicles, but it's a little bit more distinct than just any Imani Tech car. It has to be specific semi-bulletproof glass Imani Tech vehicles. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of Imani Tech cars do feature a lot of protection. For example, you can get out an Ocelot Virtue. It's fast, and it can survive upwards of 10 explosions. But the Ocelot Virtue does not feature any bulletproof glass, and what that means is if you get shot through the glass by any sort of NPC in a mission, they are going to damage you. Where a vehicle like the Dubachi Champion features semi-bulletproof glass, and I can show exactly what that means right now. If I pull out any type of rifle I have, you can see if I shoot the glass, it will not go through the glass, and you have to shoot it quite a bit before you actually have that ability. Every single pane of glass on this vehicle features that effectiveness. And while it isn't anything insane, it still does give you that little bit more reliability when doing missions. It gives you that little bit more survivability and time to get where you want to go, get into cover before being shot. The other great thing about Imani Tech vehicles is that, as I listed, they do survive a couple explosions. Even the Dubachi Champion can survive upwards of 3 explosions before the 4th one actually takes it out. And what that means is if you're dealing with any sort of helicopter that sometimes missions will spawn on you, or heists, like the Humane Lab setup, some of them will actually spawn helicopters like a Valkyrie that will shoot explosive machine gun rounds at you. And if that's the case, you will definitely want a vehicle like the Champion that can survive a couple explosions, which is really, really good. So yeah, Imani Tech vehicles make it into the number 5 position. In the number 4 position, we have the Duke o' Death. Now, the Duke o' Death is great for a lot of reasons. First of all, as we just went over with Imani Tech vehicles being able to survive explosions, the Duke o' Death is very similar in that category. It can survive upwards of 6 homing missiles and around 3 sticky bombs, which is really impressive, and it's enough to deal with really any situation in front of you. But the other great thing about the Duke o' Death is that it features very, very solid protection against gunfire. You will notice that while there is a slit for NPCs to shoot you through, they are usually very inaccurate. So if you sit still, they're really just not going to damage you, and we can see that right here. I mean, this dude's just shooting at me, and he's basically doing nothing to me. And as long as you don't really position your car in a way that people can shoot you in the head, you're completely fine, and we can see that right here. So then you can just pull out whatever gun you have, and you can clear all of the NPCs really, really easily around you. So this is why the Duke o' Death is such a good choice. Basically, as long as you know how to drive it properly, you're nearly impervious. And the other great thing is the rear of the Duke o' Death is completely bulletproof. So if you're ever low on health from NPCs shooting at you, you just turn the vehicle around like this, And as we can see, you're literally never going to take damage. And once you do get back up to full health, you simply turn your vehicle around and you start shooting at them. But as we can see, it's very hard to actually take damage in the Duke. NPCs are just really inaccurate, and it just makes this vehicle super, super easy to complete missions with. You can see that I can shoot out of the entire front of this vehicle, so it just makes doing any sort of mission like this very, very easy. Now, you can see I did take a little bit of damage there, so you can take damage in the Duke, but it's just not much of a problem, and you can very easily complete the majority of missions with this vehicle without having to worry all too much. In the number 3 slot, we have one of the few weaponized vehicles you are able to spawn in missions, being the Weaponized Tampa. Now, the Weaponized Tampa has a lot of capabilities going for it. First of all, it can drop explosive mines. This alone is really, really nice, because if you're being chased by cars and you need to blow them up, you can just drop mines behind you, and it's really no effort whatsoever. You also feature missiles on the front, which are really, really dangerous, and while they can blow you up, as this car doesn't survive any explosions, again, it is still nice you have that little weaponry. You also have rear mortars you can launch, which again do the same thing as proximity mines if you hit somebody behind you. It's just a lot of weaponry. But the major thing about the Weaponized Tampa that is incredibly effective is the remote minigun on the roof, which you're going to see being used in just a moment. This minigun will absolutely demolish everything in front of you. So for example, we got a bunch of enemies in front of us, and we're just going to pull out the remote minigun, and look at this thing go. I mean, it actually demolishes everything around you. It'll explode up, or explode explosive barrels everywhere. In fact, I just realized I killed like every single threat here. Yeah, this weaponry is a little insane, and really anything that gets caught in your path will just die. So there you go. They've already destroyed everything around me. We just killed a bunch of bad guys, and we're able to steal the getaway car already. So like, what, that took me a whole 20 seconds to do? To be fair, you don't actually need to kill any guys. You just shoot that thing on the wall and leave. But it's just a good example of why the Weaponized Tampa is such a dangerous choice, is because of the fact that dual minigun is unbeatable to any other weapon you're probably going to use in missions. It is very, very effective. The problem with the Weaponized Tampa is it's an expensive vehicle, and you need to unlock bunker research to get your hands on it. But if you already have the bunker research done, and you're wanting a good vehicle to use for missions, the Weaponized Tampa is definitely a choice I would recommend to consider using. In the number 2 position, we have quite an obvious choice, and I'm pretty sure if I didn't include this vehicle in today's video, people would actually unsubscribe from my channel because they think I'm pretty stupid. This being the Armored Kuruma. The Armored Kuruma is basically the most indestructible vehicle when it comes to bulletproof protection. Why? Well, you can see why. We are sitting in front of, what, I don't know, 15, 20 guards all shooting at me, and we've taken about, I don't know, 10% of our entire health away. I mean, that's nothing. We're literally just sitting here. They are not damaging me at all. And you'll notice that they are hitting the glass. It's not like they're, you know, ignoring the glass. The Armored Kuruma has completely bulletproof protection on every single angle. I can turn this car and directly face it towards all of these dudes in front of me. And as we can see, it does not matter how much they shoot at the front glass of this vehicle, they will not damage me. This is what allows the Armored Kuruma to be one of the best mission vehicles in the game. As long as you know the mission you're doing doesn't involve explosions, there's really no worries you're going to have, because you're never going to die. And all you need to do is every now and then go to health and ammo, go to snacks, and have a snack or two, and there you go, and back up to full health. It's literally so easy. And the best part about the Kuruma, unlike the Duke Death, is you can shoot around you completely, as we can see, which is really, really nice. So now that I'm a little bit sick and tired of all these guys, I just pull out my gun. And yeah, I mean, you just see how easy it is to pick up a bunch of kills with the Armored Kuruma. I mean, this is literally taking me, what, like 10 seconds here, and I just killed like 10 guards. Yeah, the Armored Kuruma is just a little bit stupid. Now, as I said, the only problem with the Armored Kuruma, and you're going to see that right here, is that if I were to pull out something, let's say, like an explosives of some sort, and I were to, you know, get hit by a missile or something, the Armored Kuruma gets instantly destroyed, which is a pretty serious problem, and it is the major issue with the Armored Kuruma. But overall, I mean, it's just an absolute dub. And in the number 1 position is a vehicle I've talked about a lot on the channel, and it's mainly for this reason: the Vigilante can be used in missions. The Vigilante is the only weaponized vehicle in the game that features homing missiles that is able to be spawned inside of missions. And if you don't realize why this is so powerful, I don't know what to say. I mean, you can see why it's so powerful right here. I'm literally just sitting in my Vigilante at really no threat range whatsoever, firing homing missiles at the enemies, and yeah, this is all I have to do. They're all gonna die, no issues whatsoever. The Vigilante holds around 30-ish missiles, which is usually more than enough to complete any mission you'll be completing. Oh no, look, a car. Anyway, yeet. Oh no, look, another car. Anyway, yeet. Oh look, some guards behind the car, dead. Look, another guard, dead. I didn't even see that guy over there, but the missile sure did. Yeah, I mean, the Vigilante is just the easiest vehicle ever to use. And as we can see, the missiles are a little bit stupid in the fact that they can literally home on anything, anywhere. Almost all dead already. We got somebody right in front of us. Let me just back up, clear him, and then I'll get the car in the process. Oh, did I get the car? Oh, no, I missed. Let me just shoot one more. There we go. No problem. Anyway, we've cleared this whole area in a matter of, like a minute. That would normally take you on foot with a gun, which is what the game wants you to do, in like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes of shooting. So I was able to save literally minutes of time just by using the Vigilante. And it's not just the Johnny Guns mission for Dr. Dre. Literally any single mission that involves you killing enemies, as long as, you know, there's nothing to blow up that you need for the mission, the Vigilante is insane to use. Not only is the Vigilante just crazy with its missile capabilities, but it's fast because it features a rocket boost, making this also the fastest vehicle to get from point A to point B in missions with, and it's very heavy, which means that if anything gets in your way, you can just easily push it out of your way. One of the other things I love about the Vigilante is that the rocket will actually send things flying. We can see where the car is currently, and if I use the rocket, I don't know if you noticed, but that car just got flung into the wall, and it is incredibly cool that you can literally just send vehicles flying. Here we go. We got a car parked inside of the parking lot here. So if we roll around into the parking lot and we just back behind this car really quickly, this should actually be perfect because it's not even going to really send me anywhere. I can just back right up into this car. Look at that! Look at the car! It's gone! It's just insane what you can do with the Vigilante. In fact, that car blew up. So, yeah, I love this vehicle. I always will. It is an absolute amazing choice to use for missions. Yes, it is expensive, but I can tell you for a fact that this will be one of the best purchases you can make. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you do like this content, you want to see more like it in the future, please do consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!